Still show us right at the end. The president started right after it. And I just listened to it and typed what I did. Somebody will say something in someone's life, and I'm like, I was talking to them. And I had to ask about my case. She said, they go. Because I couldn't say everything else out there. I said, everybody else.
Good evening. The time is 7:05 p.m. and I would like to call to order the Monday, January 13th, 2025 regular meeting of the Southampton County School Board. We have all 9 of our school board members present, so we do have a quorum. The agenda was included, school board members, with your school board documents. Is there a board member who needs to add an item to the agenda for tonight? There are no additions to the agenda, then the agenda stands approved as presented. The minutes of our December meeting were included with your board documents. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes of the December meeting?
On page 5, it says JJ instead of JJ.
Okay. Are there any other corrections to the minutes?
Oh, she said she read the code.
6 of
Again,
6 of
are there any other additions or corrections? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
So be it.
Have a motion by Mr. Smith.
Second.
A second by Ms. Lane. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're down, Dr. Shannon, to recognitions. I do want to recognize our newest board member, Mrs. King, who is here for the first time. Her term starts tonight. So welcome, Ms. King, to the Southampton County School Board. So other recognitions, Dr. Shannon, we're down to students of the month.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Due to the unpredictability of the weather and school closing today, we postponed our Students of the Month recognition until next month. So next month, we'll have a larger number that we'll recognize.
Thank you. So we're down to item 4, which is the public hearing for the 2026 school operating budget. As you know, the Code of Virginia requires that that the superintendent prepare have no matters from previous meetings, so we'll move to item 7, which is the action items. And the first action item is the approval of the financial report and payment of bills. Dr. Shannon.
Yes, ma'am. We have Joy Carr, Director of Finance, coming to the podium, and she will share with you our financial status.
Good evening, Dr. Goodwin, members of the school board, and all present tonight. If I can bring your attention to the preliminary expenditure report for the month of December, you'll notice that our local operating budget for this year is $36,970,753. Expenditures through December 31st total $14,836,949.01. This leaves a balance of $22,133,803.99. As of the date of this report, 40.13% has been expended from the operating budget. The December bill list has been attached to the agenda tonight for the board's approval. Are there any questions?
Board members, any questions for Ms. Carr?
I make a motion that we pay the bills as presented.
Second. It's been moved by Ms. Vaughn, a second by Ms. Lane, that we pay the bills as presented. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. The other action item is the code of conduct. We look at the code of conduct at least once per year. And this is the code of conduct that school board members agree to adhere to. As a member of the Southampton County School Board, I will strive to be an advocate for students and to improve public education. And to that end, I will have integrity in all matters and support the full development of all children and the welfare of the community, commonwealth, and nation. I will attend school board meetings. I will come to school board meetings informed concerning the issues under consideration. I will make policy decisions based on the available facts and appropriate public input. I will delegate authority for the administration of the schools to the superintendent and establish a process for accountability of administrators. I will encourage individual board member expression of opinion and establish an open two-way communication process with all segments of the community. I will communicate in accordance with board policies. Public reaction, opinion regarding board policies and school programs is for full board and superintendent. I'll bring about desired changes through legal and ethical procedures, upholding and enforcing all laws, state regulations, and court orders pertaining to schools. I will refrain from using the board position for personal or partisan gain and avoid any conflict of interest or the appearance of impropriety. I will respect the confidentiality of privileged information and make no individual decisions or commitments that might compromise the board or administration. I will be informed about current educational issues through individual study and participation in appropriate programs such as those sponsored by my state and national school boards associations. I will always remember that the foremost concern of the board is to improve and enhance the teaching and learning experience for all students in the public schools of Virginia. Therefore, I always strive to demonstrate appropriate behavior, conduct as a public school board member. So, each school board member voting to adopt this code is asked to sign the copy of the code that Ms. Artis has tonight. So before you leave tonight, if you would sign it. But I guess before we sign, perhaps we do need a motion to approve the Southampton County School Board Code of Conduct. So do we have such a motion? We have a motion by Mr. Scott, a second by Ms. Lane, to approve the Southampton County School Board Code of Conduct. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So those people who voted in favor of the Southampton County School Board Code of Conduct, please make sure you sign the document before you leave tonight, and Ms. Artis does have that copy. With down now to the superintendent's report. Dr. Shannon?
Good evening, everyone. The first item on our superintendent's report is the FOIA report. And I know you recall, probably last board meeting, that the board decided that we would provide a FOIA report moving forward. And I was talking about the large number of FOIAs that we anticipated receiving. And we did indeed receive them on December the 26th. So one of the first FOIA requests that we had was from Mike Peterson, and he made 2 FOIA requests. We had Amanda Hall, who made 1 FOIA request. Titus Moeller made 1 FOIA request, and that was on behalf of the Tidewater News. And then we have a Dasher Pasco, who is the attorney that is representing the Board of Supervisors, and he submitted 16 FOIA requests. Okay, now, as far as the school security grant is concerned, we actually received a request regarding the school security grant, and we decided that we would make it a component of our superintendent's report. So we have Mr. Bill Hatch, who's going to come forward and talk a little bit about the school security grant.
I have a question about the FOIA request.
Sure.
Go back to that. So is that just for the month of December?
Yes, only December.
And Dr. Shane, could you elaborate how much time that involved in trying to fulfill those requests? Or do you have an estimate of what it's going to take?
One of them we're still working on an estimate for, but one for Mike Peterson was $7. Another one for Mike Peterson was $20. One for Amanda Hall was $1,089, and then the one for Titus Moeller, we've not calculated that yet. And the one for the law firm is extensive. We are probably going to have to try to hire someone to fulfill that request. It probably take us about 6 months to provide everything that they're asking for.
So the way we do the increased amount of time that it would take to fulfill it is then calculated into the costs.
What's
so
calculated?
Those costs, the higher cost is the higher amount of time it would take to fulfill it, or staff time.
Yes, yes. We take each individual who will have to provide a component of the request, and we calculate their hourly rate. And then, once we calculate their hourly rate, we also calculate any paper or any of those types of things. Because sometimes the FOIA request can be over thousands of sheets of paper, copy time, or whatever.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I have another question, if it's okay. Do we get to know what they're requesting, like what that attorney wants, like a 16 request or no?
It's quite a bit, but I'll start. All right. All documents related to the positive behavior interventions and support grants during the following school years: 2016-17, 2017-18, 2018-19, 2020-21, and then they listed 2020-20 or 21-22. This includes, but is not limited to, applications, reports, management systems, financial records, grant monitoring records, budgeting, expenditures, receipts, and advertising related to the positive behavior interventions and supports grants. Number 2, protocols, policies, procedures, and guidelines related to the accounting and management of finances within Southampton Public Schools in place from 2016 through present. Any and all annual reports, I'm on number 3 now, identifying reappropriations and spend down activities from 2020 through the present. Number 4, all documents related to the utilization of the following grants from 2020 through the present: Workforce Council Grant, Teachers for Tomorrow, and Camp Foundation Grant. This includes, but is not limited to, applications, reports, management systems, financial records, grant monitoring records, budgeting expenditures, receipts and advertising related to the Workforce Council grant, Teachers for Tomorrow's, and Camp Foundation grant. Number 5, all records involving employee complaints regarding benefits and payroll practices. Number 6, all documents included but not limited to written letters, correspondence, emails, text messages, messages on other electronic platforms or messaging applications, and all other forms of communication reflecting Surrey Parks and Recreation's role in Southampton Public Schools application for or participation in Title IV Part B program from 2016 through present. Number 7, all documents included but not limited to written letters, correspondence, emails, text messages, messages on other electronic platforms or messaging applications, make sure I'm not reading the same one, or messaging applications and all other forms of communication reflecting Surrey Parks and Recreation's role in the Southampton County Public Schools application for or participation in the 21st Century Community Learning Program from 2016 through present. And that was not the same request as number 6, okay? Number 8, all documents related to Southampton County Public Schools welding program from 2021 through the present. Number 9, all Southampton County Public School audit reports from fiscal year 2018 through the present. Number 10, all approved budgets from fiscal year 2018 through the present. Number 11, all protocols, policies, procedures, and guidelines related to stipends provided Southampton Public School employees and contractors from 2020 through the present. Number 12, all documents included but not limited to written letters, correspondence, emails, text messages, messages on other electronic platforms or messaging applications, and all other forms of communication related to mold remediation, including but not limited to any dispute with McKee Environmental regarding non-payment for mold remediation. Number 13, all documents included but not limited to written letters, correspondence, emails, text messages, messages on other electronic platforms or messaging applications, and all other forms of communication reflecting use of elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds from 2020 through the present. Number 14, all documents included but not limited to written letters, correspondence, emails, text messages, messages on other electronic platforms or messaging applications, and all other forms of communication related to return of school construction assistance grant. Number 15, any and all procurement requests from the school board to the Board of Supervisors from 2020 through the present. Number 16, all documents included but not limited to written letters, correspondence, email, text messages, messages on other electronic platforms or messaging applications, and all other forms of communication related to procurement requests from the school board to the Board of Supervisors from 2020 through the present. And that's all from one requester, one company. That's why I was pushing back last board meeting, because I knew it was going to be a lot to try to get it all done. But okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
You just mentioned you're gonna have to hire somebody. I believe we will have to hire somebody for that. Do you have anyone in mind?
I don't. I really don't. We got the request on the 26th, and you know, that was during the holiday. So we started looking at this, but this is a full-time job, and it really, really will involve a number of people from multiple departments, and they would be working on this all day, every day, and it really would serve as a distractor if this is what they're doing as opposed to what we really need to be doing, which is trying to educate kids, make sure that our finances are up to par, things like that. So that's why we are looking at hiring someone to assist with this project so that we can keep our focus on the main thing, and that is educating children. Yeah, so I don't have anyone in mind.
What kind of degree would a person have to do that?
To pull the FOIA request?
To do all that information, all 16, get all that information together. It couldn't be just an aid or anything like that.
Well, they'll still have to communicate with us. Like, they can't do it separate and aside from talking to us and communicating with us. So no matter who we hire, it's still going to be some type of imposition because it's going to involve our staff having to stop what they're doing to assist in pulling these documents, you know.
That's really going to be just a lead person is what that's going to end up being. have somebody that's gonna be taking, leading the gathering, all this data, putting the data together, almost like a data analytics type person, but it's still gonna involve all the staff, because they're gonna have the feedback and the input from the staff to know what to put out.
And that's why I said it would probably take us at least 6 months, and we've not calculated, we haven't had a chance to calculate it, to be honest. So what we're working on now is an extension. We are working through our attorneys, since this came from the attorneys from the Board of Supervisors. So our attorneys are communicating with them. And, you know, we're gonna do the best we can. That's all that we can do.
Any other questions, comments concerning the FOIA request report?
Okay.
Then,
All right.
move on to the school security grant.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hatch.
At least I have good news. So we just wanted to kind of quickly make the board aware that as in previous school years, we have been awarded money from the state security grant. This is an annual grant that school divisions can apply for, and most school divisions do. But we tend to get money generally every year from this grant. And this year, we have gotten money for every one of our buildings except for Fresh Start. And the total amount awarded to us from the state is $195,069, which requires a local match of $48,767.25, which, if you add it up, comes to $243,836.25. So almost $250,000 that we're going to be spending on beefing up some of our security. It's not, this year is not a year where we're doing a lot of huge projects. It's really just adding to some stuff that we already have, like security fencing, outside lighting, the hurricane and what do you call it, coating, I guess, that they put on the windows. And so we're really looking forward to being able to do that. And I also wanted to mention that from time to time, the state does, if it has money left over from previous grants, it will go back and look for school divisions that it didn't fully fund or schools that it didn't fund at all. And in 2023, Meharry and Nottoway in the middle school were not funded as part of the grant. The other schools were. And so they've given us, just got this like 2 weeks ago, $9,506.12 of unused money that we're going to be able to then use to go back and try to do what we had applied for in 2023 for those schools. And next slide. Lorraine wanted me to mention that we got the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services grant. This is a grant that pays for security officers for Riverdale and Nottoway. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, next we have our Title I school-wide plan, and Ms. Lorraine will come forward and present that.
All 4 elementary schools participate in Title I Part A school-wide schools. One of the requirements for this is that each school have a school-wide plan. Title I federal program school-wide plans. Originally, only 3 of 4 of our elementary schools were Title I Part A, and they were targeted assisted. Riverdale was a skip school. We changed the school-wide status and added Riverdale. This means that Title I funds and resources are available to all students, not just those identified. In order to become, like I said, a school-wide school, each school has to develop their own school-wide plan. Requirements of school-wide schools. These are questions from the Title I guidance that we have to address in developing each of the school-wide plans. Have all Title I schools informed and involved parents in the development and review of the plan. And yes, each school has their own committee, And then we have the district advisory committee that also has input, and then we send out surveys to every parent at all 4 schools. One of the requirements is use of school level data. And we make sure that we include that in each of the school-wide plans. Then, does the plan contain the required 4 components of the school-wide plan? We downloaded the template provided by the BDOE, and that made it a lot easier for us to make sure that we had all the components and everything that we needed to meet the requirements. Required components, component 1, a comprehensive needs assessment. Component 2, reform strategy that provides opportunities for all children, including each of the subgroups of students. So that's reform strategy 1. Component 3, reform strategies that strengthen the academic program in the schools. Component 4, reform strategies that address the needs of all children in the school, but particularly the needs of students that are at risk. And I didn't forward it fast enough, sorry about that. On each school's website, there is a link to their school-wide plan. Bill puts those up there for us. And then included in this PowerPoint is just the cover page from each of the school-wide plans, and they have to be updated every year. Usually we do that at the end of May or the beginning of June. That's, if you notice I started the one at Nottoway 100 years ago, and that's why there's so many different dates on that one. And the rest of the schools just listed the revised date. But each of them were revised either the end of May or the beginning of June. And that's Riverdale. So working together, school, students, parents, we're all headed for a better life. That's what we want for our children, a better life. Any questions?
Questions for Dr. Shannon concerning the Title I school-wide plan?
I'm gonna go print them, but I'd like to see the goals that each school has and what they're working towards as far as student achievement. Do they present them, once they do their new one, do they present it to the board in September?
No, we just put them on each school's website at, whenever, they become available, the new ones become available. Riverdale did their regular revision in June, and then they re-revised in September, so that's why there's a September date on Riverdale's. They saw some research that they wanted to add to their school-wide plan.
So what you're saying is that the goals are included on the individual plans for each school. So if she looks at the plans for each school, is that what you'll find the information?
Yes.
So if you look at the plan for each school.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about them, I will be glad to help you understand them.
Thank you so much.
Actually, our protocol requires that she contact the superintendent.
That's the protocol?
Yes.
Check for any concerns that I have to go straight to the superintendent first.
Correct.
Is that in the new board doc information I have?
Yes.
Do I just email you and request a meeting if I have comments or questions about things along the way?
Yeah, you can email me or the superintendent. However, I think what Ms. Lorraine is telling you is that in terms of the goals for each school.
Yeah, I know they're on there. I know what the template looks like. I just didn't know if they presented it at a board meeting so that everybody knew if it was just on the website for people.
It's just on the website. But what I was trying to clarify is that what we discourage is for board members to contact individual staff members. That board members contact the superintendent, was what I was trying to clarify.
So just because I'm new and when I went to some training, am I allowed to I can go to the schools though and walk around and check things out, right? And I can talk with the principals and things. I don't have to go through you or the superintendent for that, correct?
Our practice on our board is that board members contact the superintendent to say, I'm interested in this, or I want to do that. What we don't want is for board members to show up at schools unannounced. So usually if board members will contact the superintendent, either the superintendent might have the information already, or I might have the information, or the superintendent can arrange for you to get the information.
But why would we want to be in the schools and be seen and be part of that community? Like, I don't know.
Because it's a disruption of the day for you to just show up.
It's no more of a disruption than say that y'all are taking learning walks through the building to make sure everything's going on.
But you're not a staff member, you're a
But I'm a
policy
board
member.
member and I have a right to come in the building and make sure things are going on and check for student achievement.
Well, we can discuss this offline, but I was just telling you the way that we operate at Southampton County School Board is that we contact the superintendent.
But I don't think you can prevent me from.
Nobody would throw you out, but why would you not want to adhere to what we normally do? Why would you want to do
Because I
that?
feel like you're trying to prevent board members from checking out what's going on.
No, actually, we encourage board members to visit schools, but we encourage them to go at times when there are programs going on or when principals are available. Just for you to show up at a school would be disruptive to the day. So if you contact the superintendent, we can arrange all that to happen so they'll happen in an orderly manner.
Okay. Next, we have our maintenance, operations, and transportation report. Mr. Melvin, would you come forward and make that report to the board?
Good evening, Dr. Goodwin, board, Dr. Shannon. Thank you for having us here tonight. Just real quick, with the facilities, HES continues to establish their presence throughout the county. They've added personnel with both the maintenance. They've recently brought in a plumber. So they continue to build their presence within the division. They're finalizing their online work order system and will provide training to all the school-based administrators along with us at the central office as well, so that they have that asset tagging in progress. Just before break, and I apologize to Dr. Shannon because we haven't even had a chance to talk about this, where Edulog is going to replace all the hardware on our buses for the GPS tracking. The current system that's on there is, the company that owns it is going through bankruptcy, and so they are going to be shut down. So at no cost to us, Edulog is going to come in and switch out all of our hardware on each of our buses. Sunny Merriman has one bus yet to deliver from the 23 fiscal year with the county. It was supposed to be here in November, but it has not come offline for them. So it's supposed to be here. They told us, after the first of the year, but coming from Lynchburg and the weather, they're working. For the fiscal year 24 buses, 4 buses are expected to be here in April to join our fleet. So that was just a real quick rundown. We didn't have a lot of time between the last board meeting and now, so we just not a whole lot. Just saying. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Melvin.
Dr. Shannon, I had a quick procedural question just to make sure. With the grants, do you need any motion from us to accept the grants so that we're good to go, or are you guys okay with the grants? I said no, couldn't remember if we have to vote to accept the grants, especially the ones that have a local match. Do you need permission from the board to do that?
In the past, we have not done that, but.
I couldn't find the policy, so I was just wanting to make sure we were good and that you didn't need anything from us.
Yeah, thank you. In the past, we haven't. Thank you. Okay, next we have our instructional report, but I do want us to speak to the HVAC system. Mr. Johnson mentioned, the classrooms and the temperature of the classroom. So, Mr. Melvin, would you just come back up real quickly and talk about that? We've been working diligently to try to ensure that all of our classrooms are adequately heated. But Mr. Melvin will talk a little bit about that, and then also some of the things that HES has done as far as like the snow is concerned.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. So to revisit back when we did have, gave a report last month of kind of the process that we had to go through when we have issues at the middle school. We do continue to monitor that and are going through, and I've been over here tonight looking at controls to make sure the systems are up and moving in the right direction. I do contact or have contact with our HES supervisor, Chris Grammer. We go back and forth, making sure that each of the sites are checked. You know, even over break, we had people in the buildings, making sure everything was continually functional. They do keep an eye on all of our boiler systems throughout, and you know, the principals have done a great job of communicating any issues, and we get somebody out as quickly as possible, either through HES, through us. You know, somebody's going to be on site immediately. And working with HES this past weekend here with the snow, this was the longest any snow has hung around in quite some time. Was really surprised that we didn't get more of a melt Saturday and Sunday afternoon. You know, with temperatures in the upper 40s, we thought it would be a lot better than what it was. And we kind of ran into those backwards that didn't get a lot of sunlight and a lot of heat this weekend. So we are working with HES, and you know, we're working with Brake Instruction. They brought machinery in. We cleared out with machinery here. Went by Riverdale tonight on my way here. We do have, you know, the back looks pretty good now on the back bus port, but we are keeping an eye on that and staying active to ensure safety for everybody coming in and out of the buildings as we deal with these cold temperatures.
Thank you, Ms.
Yes, ma'am.
Great, next we'll have Ms. Rachel Doyle, who will provide the instructional report. Ms. Doyle.
Good evening, Dr. Goodwin, Dr. Shannon, board members, and all present. The January instructional report topics are as follows: VIVAS training, coding showcases, January professional development, and dates to remember. Building and Central Office Administration attended multiple VIVAS trainings provided by VDOE. VIVAS stands for Virginia's Visualization and Analytics Solution. Accounts were provided to principals and additional principal designated personnel who attended the 2-day training. Central Office will provide additional support as needed to support analysis of prior and current data trends. Coding showcases have taken place at all 4 elementary schools as well as the middle school. Parents were invited to each in-person showcase, and each showcase coincided with various existing events for elementary schools, and SMS held their showcase during the school day. Shown here are photographs of the Riverdale Coding Showcase on December 19th. Capron and Meharon held theirs on December 18th, Nottoway on December 15th, and SMS on December 16th and 17th. January professional development is scheduled for January 24th and 27th, coinciding with the early dismissal dates at the end of the semester. Secondary professional development will consist of 2-hour training on Houghton Mifflin Harcourt's Into Literature core curriculum. And elementary professional development will consist of a 75-minute getting started session on Lexia Core 5, intervention program and platform. Remaining staff will continue working on their required Virginia Literacy Partnerships Canvas course as mandated by the Virginia Literacy Act. Dates to remember: January 20th, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, no school for staff or students. January 24th, early dismissal for students as well as elementary professional development. January 27th, early dismissal for students as well as secondary professional development. January 28th is a teacher work day, so no school for students. And February 3rd, report cards will be distributed. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to talk about the student teacher attendance and the student enrollment?
Sure. So our winner for the student attendance is Capron Elementary School at 96.79%. So congratulations to the students of Capron for their attendance. And our winner for the Teacher Attendance Award is Southampton Middle School at 93.74%. Congratulations to Southampton. All right, our attendance for the month of December was 2,237 students, and inclusive of preschool is 2,379 students.
You do have in your packets the newsletters from the schools. Please read the information there. And we do encourage board members to attend events and activities in the building. So please review those calendars and attend activities and events as your schedule will permit. Under informational items, you did have some information about, everybody received information about the board information. I just called it new board member information, but it's just the information that talks about everybody's phone number, the names of principals, that kind of thing. And then I tried to capture a little bit about how we do things, our board governance norms and protocols. It was included there. But if you do want a print copy of that information, Ms. Artis did print out a few copies of that information. If anybody wants a print copy of it. So we're down down to item 10, which is the response to the Board of Supervisors' unlawful mandate for forensic audit. If you remember, several months ago, the Board of Supervisors mandated that it would conduct a forensic audit of Southampton County Public Schools. However, we know that the Board of Supervisors has no authority to conduct an audit of Southampton County Public Schools. According to the Code of Virginia, the Board of Supervisors has no authority to conduct an audit, whether it's a financial audit or forensic audit of Southampton County Public Schools. It also has no authority to mandate that the school board participate in an audit that it, meaning the Board of Supervisors, mandates. So once we received that notification from the Board of Supervisors, we did have our attorney respond to Mr. Thrower. And in that letter, our attorney, Ms. O'Berry, said, and I want to read from her letter. She said, "Dear Mr. Thrower, our firm represents the Southampton County School Board. We have received your letter addressed to members of the school board dated September 5th, 2024, in which you advise that the Board of Supervisors for the County of Southampton voted to engage an outside auditing firm for the purpose of conducting a forensic audit of the Southampton County public school system. You further request that the school board cooperates with the forensic audit. As you may be aware, a forensic audit is an examination of financial records to derive evidence to prosecute a party for fraud, embezzlement, or other financial crimes. The school board is unaware of any credible information that supports your request for a forensic audit, nor any legal authority which authorizes such audit. The school boards and school divisions' financial accounts and records have been audited as recently as June 2024. According to Virginia Code, a locality shall have all its accounts and records, including all accounts and records of their constitutional office, audited annually as of June 30th by an independent certified public accountant. She goes on to say that Virginia law provides no authority to support your engagement of an outside auditing firm to conduct a forensic audit of the school board and/or school division. To that extent, that the Board of Supervisors has the ability to conduct an audit outside of the annual audit process described above, it must be by a request to and conducted by the Auditor of Public Accounts of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and only then with the approval of the Joint Legislative Audit and Review Commission. And she goes on to say that it is important to distinguish that an administrative audit and a forensic audit. And she said, in conclusion, as stewards of public funds, school board welcomes the opportunity to discuss specific requests for information that the Board of Supervisors may have. And as such requests should be provided in writing to the school board counsel at Sands Anderson for the school board's consideration. In response to that letter, the Board of Supervisors retained an outside law firm, the law firm of Troutman, Pepper, Hamilton, and Sanders. And that firm, the Troutman firm, again contacted our division and demanded that we participate in or allow a forensic audit. So in response to that mandate, our attorney, Ms. O'Berry, responded to the attorney for the Board of Supervisors, whose name is Slip, S-L-E-M-P. She said, I appreciate the meeting we had on December 5th, 2024, to discuss what you have asserted is an investigation into the management and administration practices within the Southampton School Division. During our discussion, I reiterated the position that has been previously advised to Mr. Thrower, the Southampton County Administrator, and to Mr. Eric Gregory, our prior Board of Supervisors Council, that the Southampton County School Board would only cooperate with the lawfully initiated audit or request for information. However, it must be emphasized, the Southampton County School Board and Division will not submit to any audit or request for information that is not authorized by law. Accordingly, I must advise that any request for information or request for access to staff be made to me on my client's behalf and be accompanied by express legal authority for such. By way of update, please be advised that the audit of financial accounts and records of the County of Southampton and of the school board and the school division as a component unit of the County of Southampton was completed in June 2024. As the standard for such audits, the objective was to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatements, whether due to fraud or error. Annual Comprehensive Financial Report year ended June 30, 2024. Additionally, the report reminds the public of the following. The school board does not have separate taxing authority. The county also approves the school board budget, and the school board does not issue separate financial statements. The findings of the 2024 audit were released by the State Auditor of Public Accounts on December 12, 2024, and sent to the attention of the Southampton County Board of Supervisors, the Southampton County Administrator, and the Southampton County Chief Financial Officer. The report can be found on the county website. In the report, the State Auditor of Public Accounts made no negative or adverse findings related to the finances of the school board or the division. We highly recommend your review of that report and demand that you cease any further requests for audit or actions related thereunto in light of the report's findings. Additionally, as advised in the Southampton County School Board September 13, 2024 letter to Mr. Thrower, as stewards of public funds, the Southampton Board welcomes the opportunity to discuss specific requests for information that the Board of Supervisors may have. Following that letter to Mr. Thrower, the Southampton County School Board did not receive any request for information from the Board of Supervisors, nor from anyone acting on their behalf. The next communication received in this matter is from your firm on November 12, 2024, wherein your colleague, Mr. Pygrass, advised that we fully intend to conduct a comprehensive investigation regardless of your level of cooperation. During our meeting on December 5, 2024, I ask if the Board of Supervisors has received or was aware of any lawful authority to conduct a comprehensive investigation which the Pygrass asserted will be done regardless of Southampton County School Board's cooperation. You advise you do not have any such legal authority. Instead, you advised that your firm would issue a series of requests for records pursuant to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, beginning as soon as December 6, 2024. Additionally, you advised that you plan to schedule interviews with Southampton County School Board staff. As of today, my clients are unaware of any FOIA or other requests from your firm. I must reiterate, the Southampton County School Board and the division will not submit any audit or request for information that is not authorized by law, and we demand that you cease any further requests for audit or actions related thereto in light of the report's findings. Regarding staff interviews, please be advised that the Southampton County School Board and the division are represented by counsel. Any request for interviews must be made to and through its counsel and shall not proceed without the express permission of our client. Please contact me should you have any questions in this regard. And that was from our attorney. And today, we have not received any additional information from the Board of Supervisors regarding the demand for a forensic audit. As a board, we know that a forensic audit is not intended to restore faith in the system. It is not intended to clarify matters. A forensic audit examines financial records to uncover evidence of illegal fraud activity. Its goal is to gather evidence that can be used in court. Therefore, we will not participate in this audit, and as I said before, the Board of Supervisors has no legal authority to demand such an audit. So, board members, your thinking, I think that brings us up to date in terms of what's been going on from September until now. Comments?
I'm not a board member, but I'll speak. So I want to say that the FOIA requests are what they're using to circumvent, some of the processes. And that's one of the reasons why I was bringing it up and shared with the board last board meeting, that we would have, a large number of FOIA requests. And I'm sure that that is not the end of the FOIA request. However, they're trying to use those FOIA requests to come up with some type of evidence, and then I guess they'll try to, backdoor into some type of a forensic type audit or what have you. Yeah.
But the long list of requests that we have, we did follow that to our attorney, correct?
We did.
Okay.
We did, but according to the law, we have 7 days. We can request, I think, maybe 5 additional days. And so, it's unrealistic for us to have that volume of material available in 12 days. So our attorneys are working to try to see what type of relief we can have regarding the amount of items that they're requesting and the number of days that we would have to normally fulfill those requests. The other thing is, today I actually sent a letter to Mr. Thrower, because of course, we've constantly been saying, and I think you heard it in each letter, that if they had any concerns, if they had any questions, if they had any requests, that, we would work with them. But despite, us saying that in the letters to our Board of Supervisors, they're continuing to try to pursue other avenues. So today, I sent the letter to Mr. Thrower on behalf of the school board, and it reads, on behalf of the Southampton County School Board, I'm reaching out to formally communicate the board's action to reestablish the liaison committee between our two entities. The school board remains committed to fostering a positive, productive relationship with the Board of Supervisors, and we believe the reinstatement of this committee is an essential step. At its January meeting, we hope the Board of Supervisors will formally consider and appoint 2 members to serve on the liaison committee. This is an essential opportunity for renewed collaboration to align better our efforts to support the students and families we jointly serve. The reactivated liaison committee will provide a constructive platform to discuss our budget, capital improvement needs, and other matters of mutual concern. We look forward to the Board of Supervisors' consideration of our request and remain hopeful for a positive outcome. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, Dr. Gwendolyn Shannon. And I mentioned that because, again, that does fall in alignment with the request for forensic audit, because we are still saying that we would like to, avail ourselves to be able to communicate with them if they wish to do the same.
The regular audit that the county has done has already been completed, and there were no findings.
No findings, no. And it's public, and it should be on their website now.
I guess what is sticking in my mind, and I just feel like I need to say it out loud, is that as I sit here and I listen to this, we're getting ready to move into budget season. Budget is hard enough already, and we struggle to find the dollars that we need to give our teachers raises, to put people in the classrooms that we need, to have the instructional programs that we need for our students. And as I sit here tonight, and I'm disheartened by the fact that this is going to create more legal fees, it's going to create a position that, as parents, it would anger me to know that that is coming directly out of money that could be used to give raises to the teachers that are standing in the rooms with your children. So, at the end of the day, who's losing in this whole picture? Who's losing? It's our students. It's the students that are gonna not have, the instruction that they need within the classroom, because the budget is already tight, and now, we'll work this into the budget because we're gonna have to, because, we're in a position that we have to do that. But it just disheartens me to know that that's where the money's going to go, as opposed to the classroom.
Additional comments? Item B, under matters from the board, is the budget committee. And we know that Mr. Smith and Ms. Bunn work with the superintendent. According to the Code of Virginia, the superintendent is tasked with the responsibility of drafting a needs-based budget for the school system. And then with input from the board, and Mr. Smith and Ms. Bunn work with the superintendent on our behalf. The budget calendar was included last month. I'm not sure it's included here. But I'll ask Ms. Artis to send out again that budget calendar, so that we can be reminded of those dates for the budget committee. But anything to add, either Ms. Bunn chairs that, Mr. Smith? Any comments? Ms. Arts, would you send out that budget calendar to board members so that we'll have it in front of us? But we know that it includes several sessions with the superintendent and the committee, but there's also a budget work session where the superintendent presents the budget to the full board. And then there's another public hearing where we get input from the community in regards to the draft of the budget. The PSBA Capital Conference is coming up. When I met with the superintendent prior to this meeting, we were talking about budget. You know that for the 24-25 school year, for the current school year, the Board of Supervisors funded the school board at the minimum required by the state, which means that our budget for this year was not fully, our request was not fully funded. As a matter of fact, it was minimally funded, which means then that we have to implement some budget money-saving measures. And one measure that the superintendent is instituting for staff is curtailing opportunities for development outside of the district. So I said to her that I'm pretty sure that if the staff could not travel for professional development, then the board would agree to not participate in further board development for the remainder of the year. So to that end, I'm asking, if you would, that board members not request to go to the BSBA Capital Conference for board development. Ms. King will go to participate in the new board member training, but for the rest of us who usually go to the BSBA Capital Conference, I would be most appreciative if you would not go this year. I know there's an event that we look forward to participating in, but if staff has to curtail this professional development activities outside of the district, I think that we can do the same. I'd like to hear your thinking about that.
I agree. How does that affect mandated trainings that we have to have? Or like, when we set up our goals about how many trainings we're going to go to?
Well, the Code of Virginia establishes that every school board must request members to participate annually in high-quality professional development. It does not, the Code of Virginia doesn't specify how many trainings. We decide that.
Right, that's what I was asking.
So I'm saying we can
Doesn't
decide.
have an effect on that.
Right, and we can decide that any training that we do for the remainder of the year, we'll have to do it in-house. But it doesn't affect the legal requirements.
You know, the SBA in the past has done some, remote trainings that I think they can do some frequent each year as well. I don't know if they're frequent or, they were doing some during COVID, but I don't know if they still are.
I've seen some of the, like there's some webinars and stuff.
Right,
There was one that was you can sign up for free, but yeah, most of them have the cost. But,
Right. And they're more like lunch and learn type.
yeah.
Well, I'd like to say that, once again, we're impacted adversely because of all that is going on. Teachers should be able to go to trainings every year. And the board should be able to do the same every year. But I am in total agreement that we should not pay to go to trainings if the teachers cannot. I agree with that 100%. But once again, with all of this going on, we are hurting our children. All of these layers are causing our children to lose out. And our teachers, who deserve the best that we can give them. And that's our job as a board, is to be able to support teachers so that children can learn. And our hands are being tied, stapled, nailed with them, whatever. So.
Any additional comments? So I think item D was the BSBA new board member orientation, and as I said, Ms. King will participate in that training. And that training is Monday the 22nd, I believe. And you did get Ms. King registered, right? So Ms. Artis has made sure that Ms. King is registered, and I believe it's on the 22nd. And so then pursuant to section 2.2-3711A1 and 2 of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, the board will convene in a closed session to consider personnel appointments, retirement, resignations, compensation, out of district or non-resident student admissions, additional resignations, appointments, and legal matters. So do we have a motion to go into closed session?
Move that we go into closed session.
A motion by Ms. Lane, a second by Mr. Scott. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
At the conclusion of the closed session, the board will review this area to take any needed action on matters discussed during the closed session. And we will go to the teachers' lounge to conduct the closed session and return to this area.